So, short break, and then they're on again. This time 29 laps. Winkelhock, pole position. Aiello, the left of your picture, alongside him on the front row. Away they go. Good start once again by Pirot coming through, and Winkelhock it is who leads into the first bend. So it's Winkelhock, Pirot, Aiello. Yet another works Audi coming through there, up into 4th place. Stefan Peter, who was 6th starting, picked up a couple of slots already. Round comes Christian Menzel, here just ahead of the Abt Audi. Great shot as the midfield just goes bunching up, and they're just jockeying for position, just not letting anybody get too far away from them. Winkelhock's opened up a fantastic lead in the early stages. What a magnificent start he's made, buoyed up by that sprint win. Now Aiello starting to challenge Pirot, and Pirot takes to the gravel, and it's Aiello who goes through. Peter moves up into 4th place, so we've got 2 Audis now, 3rd and 4th. And Alpsen is once again going to try and cause ructions in the Audi camp by trying to split them at least. Alpsen was 3rd in that first sprint. They've got 29 laps to improve on that. Great start by Johnny Cecotto. Really thundered through the field, and that's exactly what Alpsen's done, because he's got past the first Audi, Philippe Petter. Now, Pirot might well be a completely different prospect. Very experienced driver. Here comes Alpsen. He's down the outside. He's in the wrong position if he wants to get him around there, because Pirot just holds that inside line. So again, there's Menzel having some fun coming down the outside. Winkelhock, Aiello, Pirot. 1 of 29 completed. Van Ormen in the 2nd Peugeot there in 6th place. Sissing in the privateer Audi, 5.3 seconds back, and Menzel doing a good job, up to 8th at the moment. Young BMW driver of last year, given his chance this year, and hopefully he'll take it with both hands, although he's rather flattered to deceive, it must be said, throughout the opening part of this season. Van Ormen, who's right on the tail of these 2 Audis and the Opel, seems like moving chicanes in front of him. Like to prove that he's as quick as his teammate, but just not getting the chance. He's just not actually getting in the laps and the times which would convince everybody. Now he's going to have a little go at Petter, and he thinks better of it. Menzel having a go down the inside of Cecotto, rather, coming through and having a go down the inside of Nissan. So he's made a brilliant recovery. There comes Menzel. This is the view from Abt's car, and that's what happens when you get behind somebody who's deciding to splatter gravel in your face. Pirot, Alpsen, Van Ormen goes past Petter. So Van Ormen at last starts to make some ground. He's now up to 5th place. Still out in front, Winkelhock. Aiello is holding on to 2nd rather comfortably now. Pirot from Alpsen. And Cecotto, who's really worked his way through the field brilliantly. And further back down, there's 36, which is Stefano Modena in the Alfa. Poor old Alfas, they really just aren't showing up in this championship at all. Drivers of the caliber of Modena and Dana, and it's just not working for them. 23, Roland Asch, 2nd Nissan. He's Sascha Massen's partner, teammate. So the few little dices down the field. It's some of the best racing that we've had so far in this championship. So naturally pleased for the big crowd that's paid up some of their very hard-earned cash here to watch these drivers. Don't think they'd have been too pleased with some of the entertainment that they put on earlier in the season. It was rather processional. You can watch some processions, but processions of German touring cars aren't particularly interesting. This is much, much better. Look at this. Pirot, Alpsen and Van Ormen, 3 of them all heading down to that corner. And who's going to get there first? Who's your money on? Well, Pirot should hold the line, and Van Ormen just might be able to squeeze Alpsen. not quite. Oh, he touches him, just pushes him out, and that's Alsen falling back down the order. That was unfortunate there, because Alsen really had got the line there. And that's Menzel going past. Johnny Cecotto's already through as well. So Alsen losing ground rapidly. There's Cecotto coming through, followed by Menzel. And poor old Alsen, he'd driven a brilliant race, really has picked up the traces here. And Van Ormen now coming along inside Pirot and trying to do to Pirot what Pirot had done to Alsen in the previous round, but he's not managed it. Van Ormen goes through, Pirot couldn't close the gap. Now then, that's really going to set up a battle there, because Pirot knows that he's actually got the capability of getting past the Peugeot. He's proved it once this afternoon. Now, can he do it again? It's Van Ormen and Cecotto, and also Menzel coming through as well. But way up front here at the Sachsenring in the main race, it's Winkelhock leading from Aiello. Welcome back. Join the fun once again at Sachsenring, German Super Touring Car Championship. You see Petter making up ground there on Uwe Alsen. Alsen, who was unlucky enough to be pushed back down the order. Pirot still clinging on to that spot from Cecotto, who's made an absolutely lightning break through the field. It's Menzel following him through. Van Ormen just starting to get away from Pirot, but Pirot's got his hands full anyway. Going to keep checking his mirrors just to make sure that Cecotto isn't trying anything down the inside. And of course he is. As soon as he's given just that opportunity, he steals his way through and makes up another place. Well, he started 15th, and now he's up to 5th. Brilliant driving by Johnny Cecotto. Pirot may now have to forget about Cecotto and start defending from Menzel, who's right behind him. My name's Petter, then there's Alsen. But Alsen is going to get past Petter unless Petter just eases across the line, which he does. Van Ormen sets off after his teammate. Maybe Cecotto's starting to harbour ambitions of making up third, so Dana running very wide in front of Abt here. These are well down the order. I don't know what's happened to Christian Abt, because he was really making a go from it in around 10th place, but now he's running 16th, 17th. All this lot all grouped together. Let's look at Dana in the Alpha. Losing another place. Let's go back up with this group just behind the leading two. Van Ormen in 3rd place, then Cecotto 4th, Pirot 5th, Menzel 5th, 6th, and Petter. There are times when Menzel absolutely looks a very gifted driver indeed, and then there are other times where it seems as though he just hasn't quite got it. He just hasn't quite got the experience. Comes Abt, getting a bit uptight about the Audi in front of him. Let's go back to that leading group. And Pirot will do well actually to hold off Menzel in the closing stage of this race. Menzel, having looked at the drivers, what the drivers in front of him have done, the places that they've attacked, will be able now to build on that experience, maybe make it work against the Audi of Pirot. Certainly pushing him all the way. That won't faze Pirot, he'll actually enjoy it. enjoy the challenge. Now here's Dana back inside the Alpha. Menzel getting no closer. There's Alex Bergstaller there. Zips past Christian Abt. And Abt just running further and further down the order. He's just got nothing there in this privateer Audi this time. Back up with Van Ormen. He's going to have to work hard to hold off Cecotto now. And here comes Altzen. Who else? Again, it's Petter that just shuts him out, and again they touch. Seeing a lot of the action Altzen, but not surprisingly, the aggressive way that he's driving. 7 out of 29 completed. Got as much action in these 7 laps so far as we normally get in the whole race. There's Menzel up to 6th. Great opportunity for him to go 5th. Now Van Ormen and Cecotto. Cecotto going to pick his moment. Where's Menzel going to pass Pirot? Is Altzen going to be able to work his way through? So many elements in all these equations up and down the order. Sachsenring seeing a real feast of touring car racing. Now then, there's Petter. Altzen liable to get very impatient if he's left trailing back there for much longer. He might just try something on the inside of Petter at the next right-hander. Just lining him up now, as you saw there, and that's Van Ormen's gone 1 down to Cecotto. So Cecotto with a brilliant passing movement, just taking the inside of Van Ormen, and I'm not too sure that Van Ormen will accept that. I think that he should be up with Aiello at least. Let's have a look at the relative difference. The last lap, Cecotto very much the faster of the two. Suggests that maybe something has just gone awry with Van Ormen's car, but you would expect Van Ormen to be on terms with Aiello. On the other hand, you'd also expect Cecotto to be on terms with Winkelhock, and he has driven brilliantly through the field. And he's seen so many of them off, and that's a deserved 4th place for him at the moment. Pirot running 5th, Menzel still there in 6th place, Petter, with Altzen really trying to harass him into a mistake. Now just starting to lose touch with Pirot. It's almost as though Menzel gets a little bit tired in the later stage of the race and just can't keep up the pace and the concentration long enough to really make a big impression. Nevertheless, he's there in 6th place. He's got to hold off Petter, and probably even more importantly, Altzen, to stay in the top 6. Petter hammering down the inside, and Menzel going to let him go? No, he's going to try and trap him in there. Should be able to get him on the as they swing left. Petter's forced to move out wide, and that gives Altzen the chance to go through. Spotted the opportunity brilliantly there, Altzen, to pick up a place after it was Petter who was pushing for 6th. Petter suddenly finds himself in 8th as Altzen just came storming through there. Brilliant drive by the Opel man. To go. Winkelhock with a 4-second lead. So the promise of that first win in the sprint race now confirmed here in the main race at Sachsenring. Van Ormen from Pirot, Menzel there in 6th. Although we know that Altzen on this lap has swept past him and takes 6th place from him. 6th, 7th and 8th showing there on the screen. Now, has Alsen got the pace to pull away from Menzel and start challenging Pirot and the rest? Be a mammoth effort if he could manage it. It looks like Christian Abt who's out of the race. And it's Alfred Higa. He's got a set of new tyres on there and he's going back into it. So Marco Werner's teammate, back in the race but running at the rear of the field. Started so promisingly for Honda, and they're going to get very little out of this afternoon. So meantime, here's Johnny Cecotto, and he's going to drop down a place. Well, that's unusual in this race, because Alsen has now elbowed his way through past Cecotto, and he's now running right up behind Pirot. Great work by them, but up front, it's still Winkelhock from Aiello at Sachsenring. Lap 16 of 29 at Sachsenring, and that is Johnny Cecotto suddenly finding himself under challenge for the first time in the race. A replay of that Alsen passing manoeuvre when he just elbowed his way through. Van Orman running 3rd, Pirot 4th, Alsen now 5th, and Johnny Cecotto drops back to 6th place. So he was up challenging Van Orman at one stage, but now he's dropped back almost as though the superhuman efforts that he's made to work his way up through the field, and it has been a long job, but he's done it almost as though it was too much for him. And now Van Orman, Pirot, Alsen starting to make the breakaway from the 41-year-old Venezuelan. Pirot hasn't given up on Van Orman, still thinks he'll find a way past. And Alsen is looking very ambitious and gives Pirot just that little punt, which is enough to send him spinning away into trouble. Well collected in the end by Pirot. There's a few bits come off the car. It may have been off Pirot's, might have been off Alsen's. But that's pushed Pirot back into the clutches of Cecotto. And Alsen now has Van Orman in his sights. So it's 3rd place beckoning for Alsen. What a splendid, aggressive drive it's been. Both drives from him in the sprint and in the main race. He too got knocked back down the order early on, you remember, in this one. He was running 9th or 10th at one stage. Now he's in with a chance of 3rd. Pirot in the Audi, not used to such rough treatment. Comes Van Orman. Hectic look in the mirrors there, just see how close Alsen was getting. Didn't have to look very far. Gaining yard by yard, it seems. Van Orman running wide, no place, no chance there for Alsen to actually take advantage. Not yet close enough. He might be next time round, though. Not going to let Van Orman go. One of his favourite places for overtaking. It's coming down here into the right-hander. Now, if you can get Van Orman here, he probably can't. He's probably just that little bit too far adrift there to actually make it. Might have another little dip. No, not quite. This needs to set him up for next time around. So this is what happened just a lap ago. Pirot moving across the bows of Alsen when Alsen was really on a charge down into the right-hander. All sorts of bits flying off. I think both cars, actually. Pirot may be the worse off of the two. It's Christian Danner deciding he's had enough. That Alfa's seen a bit of service today and a bit of parts of the track that most of the other cars haven't. Now, Alsen really would like a double 3rd here. Van Orman determined to cling on to 3rd place, just to prove that he's a match for his teammate at least. Aiello really is running the show as far as the championship's concerned. On the day here, it's Winkelhock. Here goes Alsen, and that was easy. That was ridiculously easy for Alsen. Almost as though Van Orman said, here you are, here's the chance, you go through, mate. And that's exactly what Alsen did. And having seen that, it'll probably make Piro prick up his ears and decide that perhaps he ought to start making a move. Now, Alsen has closed right up on the other Peugeot of Aiello. And Aiello, who's lost contact with the leader, Winkelhock, is now going to have to battle hard to hold on to second, because Alsen, the mood that he's in, is just going to drive straight through him if necessary. Skates round those corners and wheels lock the whole business, Aiello. Great fun. Won't be doing the tyres any good though. So we've got Peugeot against Opel, and this is the first time that we've really seen Opel challenge to any extent at all this season. Suddenly put things together. Testing seems to have worked out for them. They've found a few extra tweaks. The pace has come right for them. Engsler's a back marker behind Winkelhock. Very unlikely that you see an Alfa up there in second place. So this could be Alsen's chance. He might just be able to work a position here where Van Orman gets trapped behind the Alfa. And then he's through. Winkelhock, meantime, is just enjoying the race. There he is. He's picked up his second victory of the day. Brilliant work by Joe Winkelhock and by BMW Team Bugatti, because it looked as though Peugeot were going to be skating away with the championship after their two big wins last time out. But no, BMW are back in it. Crowd enjoyed it too. Winkelhock, the winner of both the sprint and the main race at Sachsenring. Aiello, second in both races. Alsen, third in both races. Good fourth for Peugeot with Van Orman. Chicotto fought his way up to fifth. This is Winkelhock.
From outside it looks easier than it was, because I pushed the first. Really, I didn't expect to win the race, because I had such a lot of problems already in the sprint race, which was only 15 laps, and. Okay, the tactic for me was to push really hard in the first 10 laps, and then there was a gap between 3 and 4 seconds. So then I slowed down to save the tires. Then I pushed again very hard for 3-4 laps. Then I reduced the speed again to save the tires, and this was finally the success here.
It also kind of makes up for the Nürburgring in a little bit, and the fact that you're back in the points race.
Yeah, exactly, and this makes me so happy, because after this race at the Nürburgring, which was not a good result, so I must say I'm really happy to win both races here in Sachsenring.
Winkelhock and Chicotto, the BMW teammates, both past 200, but Aiello with a 52-point lead in the championship.
Yes, for sure. It was, for me, it was a problem with the tires. As I told you before, we had a problem with the contents of the tires. We knew exactly what will be the race, because when we came here on Friday, we had exactly the same problem as last year, general grip problem. So we tried to cure it, but we knew already before the race that the problem were still there, and I had to control exactly the tires for the race. First race was a little bit easier because the pace car was in, so there was nearly 5 or 6. I don't remember exactly, but 5 or 6 laps running very gently. But for the long race, I knew that I had to try to follow Joe on the first laps to make a gap between me and the others, and that was good. But after that, I had to control my tires, and I had a little bit of problems. And at the end, I made a mistake, because I thought that Overalsen was there was further back. There is a big gap between me. I made a mistake with the board.
actually. 2 third-place finishes, that's pretty good for the day.
Yes, I'm absolutely happy with my performance and the performance from the team and Michelin. I think we have a good car for this race, and especially for this race we become a new engine with a very good range from the power. And the car was very good, and that's all.
So it's Norrisring next time out in 2 weeks' time. We can leave the celebrations to Joe Winkelhock, Laurent Aiello, Uwe Altzen. They were very much the big three on the day at Sachsenring.